Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Entity Frost, a professional 2.6 Hog player, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining how to beat xbow with 2.6 Hog. So xbow is a rather moderate matchup for 2.6 Hog. It's not that difficult, but it's also not that easy. And that's because the cards in both decks are pretty similar. Like, we both have Fireball, we both have Log, and it's usually similar elixir as well, so especially with 2.9 xbow, of course. But here our opponent is playing the Knight version, so instead of Ice Golem they're playing Knight, and instead of Ice Spirit they're playing Electro Spirit, yeah. And there's actually quite a lot of things to unpack in this matchup, so I'm just gonna get started with the video. Now first, I don't know what he's playing, so I just go in with Ice Golem and Hog Rider. Now I did play this not that well because I should have played the Hog Rider a bit to the right so that it would just be like right behind Ice Golem instead of going past it, but that's fine. And after getting a lot of damage here, I actually have to defend his xbow, and you can see it's quite hard to defend because his Knight is going in front, so even if I play Cannon, which is what I did, it's just going to target the Knight, and the best I can do here is just Fireball. And I decided to Fireball the Knight and the xbow and not the Tower and the xbow because I wanted to take down his Knight before he plays ability. And he plays another Knight here, which is interesting. But then I just log and basically take down his xbow. And so now it's rather even. I'm slightly behind in damage. And actually, I predicted his ability here. So I just played Ice Golem. And the first thing in this matchup that you should know is when you play Hog Rider at the bridge and they play Tesla, it's not that bad. It is an even trade after all, and in some cases you want to actually do that so that you could potentially outcycle his Tesla, especially in double elixir. But in single elixir, you want to basically focus on not letting his xbow connect, because if you let it connect, it's going to be much harder for you to come back in double elixir. And the thing is, with this matchup, you actually have quite a lot of distracting cards for his xbow, such as Ice Golem and Cannon. And because you have such a fast cycle, you don't actually have to worry about overspending on defense. You don't actually have to worry about that because most of the time you're going to have enough elixir, especially in double elixir, where you can just play Cannon or Ice Golem, and in some cases you can even just go Hog Rider for the xbow, just like right here. And usually, yeah, you just get one hit, but if they play Tesla as well, you can Fireball, and you basically get a lot of value from that. And another thing you can do in this matchup is when they play xbow, you can actually go Hog Rider opposite lane to make them spend their Tesla so that you can actually counter the xbow with Musketeer or something in Log. But here, basically, our opponent just plays Tesla, and there's actually a few things I can do here. I could have just Fireballed and that would take down his xbow, but I played Musketeer instead. And that's still fine. I just have to log that and basically take it down. So the thing you want to really remember is that sometimes your opponent's xbow is already low enough HP that you can just keep stalling it by playing small cards like Skeletons or Cannon to keep stalling, and then you just log to take it down. So I didn't have to Fireball that. And yeah, here I just immediately play Hog Rider because I pretty much expected that he'll play xbow. And if your opponent doesn't have Tesla, then it's pretty easy to take down his xbow. Like you can just log or even fireball after you play Hog Rider. And a lot of the times this matchup will come down to spell cycle, especially if none of you are breaking through. The Hog Rider's not breaking through and your opponent's xbow isn't breaking through. Now here was probably the decisive moment of this game that let my Hog Rider get a hit. So if we watch this again, I basically predicted his Tesla by playing Eva Musketeer, and that just brings me back to why I played Musketeer at this moment instead of Fireball. At this moment, I could have Fireballed, but I wanted to cycle my Musketeer so that I can get my Eva Musketeer on the next cycle, so that I can actually do this. So basically, a lot of times you can like predict the Tesla by playing Eva Musketeer, and that'll basically take it down, and that'll give you a hit basically. And for the majority of the game, you just want to really focus on not letting your opponent's xbow connect. And if you have to, you can just play Hog Rider for the xbow. Or sometimes if you want to, focus on the other side, you can play Hog Rider opposite lane when they play xbow, so that they have to spend their Tesla, and then you can just like Musketeer for the xbow, or even like Cannon. But for the rest of this game, it's mostly just going to be spell cycle, because it's going to be pretty hard to connect. And of course, if our opponent plays Tesla, then it's pretty hard for us to fireball both unless they play it like very low. So yeah, you're not really going to get much fireball value with your Hog Rider. And so basically the Tesla is like you can't really take it down unless you play like Musketeer at the bridge, or like in the middle to snipe it. But it's kind of risky, and also sometimes you might not even work. And you can see here, he plays xbow and I just play Cannon again to distract, and Hog Rider. So you can see Hog Rider for the xbow is actually quite useful, especially if you don't want to go opposite lane. And here, always remember, you can actually just fireball the tower and the xbow, and this will be very useful when like there's not much time left and you want to get damage on this tower. And basically for the rest of this game, it's just spell cycle and there's nothing you can do. I just have the faster cycle. So theoretically, if you ever get to a spell cycle situation, you will be faster than your opponent, because you're playing 2.6 Hog, whereas they're playing xbow, which is like 2.9 or like even 3.0 if they're playing Knight or something like that. So you will still have a faster cycle, and so you can still out-cycle your opponent theoretically, but you shouldn't really rely on that too much, because sometimes your opponent will just like save a little bit of elixir from the Knight or something, and like that makes you spend more elixir. But the main thing you want to focus on is you want to prevent your opponent from letting their xbow connect to your tower, and the way you do that is by playing your distracting cards like Ice Golem and Cannon. So you can see here, like Ice Golem will be very important to distract the xbow, and because you have such a fast cycle, you can actually just cycle it multiple times, like for the same xbow. And then of course, in order to break through, it's going to be pretty hard, but you can use Eva Musketeer to break through, just like I did right here. And you do that by predicting his Tesla, because most people will play Tesla in the middle, so you can just predict it. It's pretty easy to predict, honestly. And then yeah, one hit usually decides the whole game. Like if I didn't get this hit, I probably would have lost the game because I would have been 2 behind on damage, and it's pretty hard to break through with Hog Rider anyway. So yeah, the best you can do is like try to predict the Tesla, and then for the rest of the game, just don't let the xbow connect. Because if you don't let his xbow connect, then he can't really get damage. But like, of course, you won't be able to get damage either if you just, you know, don't break through. But then that's why it comes down to spell cycle, and that's why it's important to, you know, like manage your elixir. And in the late game, it is sometimes just down to spell cycle. And because you have the faster cycle, because you're playing 2.6 Hog, usually you will have a slight edge, and that's how I won this game basically. I just had a slightly faster cycle, and to be honest, if he had another fireball and log, I probably would have still lost. Or like if he got a little bit more damage from his xbow in the beginning, then I would have lost the game. So yeah, this matchup is pretty close in terms of like difficulty and like whoever has the edge. But if you focus correctly on like defending his xbow and also predicting his Tesla, then you will get pretty good chances in this game, in this matchup against xbow. So that's it for this video. If you want to join my 2.6 Hog community, that's linked in the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.